Good afternoon and good evening, folks. Good afternoon and good evening. So, to those of you watching from the US, good afternoon. We've got a treat for you with the lovely Jessie Terry, who's going to be playing some fantastic songs for us. And those of you in the UK, we've got Pete Kelly, the legend of the folk scene in the UK.
Oh, he definitely
so he's going to be playing some songs of his as well. So, you excited?
I'm very excited.
No, you need to be more excited than that. When I say, are you excited?
You know it's going to be the best show so far.
Well, I was so looking forward to this.
Oh, I mean.
So our guests, this is an interesting one, actually, because I think we've been guilty of probably stalking our guests. Because Jessie Terry, so I know Jessie Terry from Instagram, from Facebook, and we kind of followed each other's pages and listened to each other's songs and stuff like that. Probably, I think, I'm going to say 2, maybe 3 years. And I've always thought I'd love to be able to play somewhere with Jessie or have him do a session with us and stuff like that. So I contacted him and said, come on, do a session. And we booked a session, and he had a project he had to do, so he couldn't play at the time.
Just before Christmas,
so
wasn't
I was kind of thinking, no. But fortunately, he kind of said, yeah, happy to do it, really want to get involved. So we've got him tonight, which is fantastic. Meanwhile, we've wanted Pete Kelly to play for a long time. And the first kind of couple of times, Sam had spoken to him and he'd kind of gone, yeah, I'm not sure technology is my thing. I'm not sure I want to kind of do that. And we were going, come on, Pete, we'll help you. And he's going, yeah, no, I'm good. And then I phoned him, or I messaged him and said, come on, Pete, you know you want to do it. And he's going, yeah, no, I know the little tricks. You're both trying to come at me from both sides. And eventually, kind of Sam approached him again and said, come on, Pete. And he went, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
he caved, Andy.
He's got a fantastic setup, and both of them sound absolutely great. So we're in for an absolute treat. Yeah. So usual rules apply. Please do engage with us. Ask us questions. Ask the artist questions and stuff like that. Please do be a participative audience. So let's just check who's in. So we've got Chris West, who is obviously a friend of Jessie's. He's saying, hi, Jessie. Evening, afternoon from the UK. Old timer, hey Jessie and Mr. Hughes and Mr. Kelly from the UK. This is Hubert from the Netherlands. Oh, I think you are our first Dutch visitor.
Yeah.
Welcome. We are very honoured to have you. Sarah Jones, is that your good buddy?
Yeah, that's one of my bezies. That's one of my bezies.
That's it. Rob Payne, hi Jessie. Chris West again, hi. Kate, is that Kate Eggy? That's an unusual spelling of Kate. Marvellous. So we've got a great show planned for you, and we'll get stuck into it. So I'm going to open the show with a song. Sam's going to close the show with a song, and then in between we'll have these two legends who will show us how it's done properly.
Yes, definitely.
That's it. So I'm going to start off with, so the song I was going to do, Sam said to me, can you do a different one? So I'm doing this one. So this is a new one that I've just written about 2-3 weeks ago. And it's called Little Town. And then as soon as we're done with that, we will get our acts on.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want a big screen yourself?
No. Okay. I don't want to see myself any bigger than I need to.
I'll sit back then.
Head in his hands, chewing on a piece of gum. He thought he was smarter, man, how could he be so dumb? He could feel the walls around him closing in. Everything changed that day in their high school gym. And he heard his daddy's words race through his mind. He said, son, I wasn't ready, but it was already too late. The things that I wanted, I didn't want to have to wait. All I knew is I didn't want to be tied down. this no one ever gets to leave here, little town. For no particular reason, he reached out and took her hand. He said, we're in it together and I ain't about to let you down. I know this may not be what we had planned, but I think I'm slowly starting to understand. For that baby you carry, I think I'm gonna marry you. They were still so young, but she turned a smile too. And they raised their son, but it came at a cost. And they found something worth more than they ever lost. He said I wasn't ready, but it was already too late. The things that I wanted, I didn't want to have to wait. All I knew is I didn't want to be tied down in this no one ever gets to leave here little town. Now he's all grown up with his dad's eyes and mama's hair, and he's waving goodbye as he heads off to college somewhere. And she turns to him as the tears fall from her eyes, and she says, do you think that he's ready? I guess it's already too late. The things that he's wanting, he don't want to have to wait. All I know is he didn't want to be tied down in this no one ever gets to leave here little town. And they turn to each other, the same thought on their mind. Maybe we're ready, I guess it's never really too late. The things that we wanted, we no longer have to wait. All we know is we didn't want to be tied down. So it's 9 months a year anywhere but this little town. So it's 9 months a year anywhere but this little town.
Oh, Andy, that is such a great song, mate. It really is.
It's like a pair of slippers I'm getting used to. I'm getting more comfortable with it as I do it.
Remember when you first sent me that, I was like, no, don't change nothing.
You ain't stealing that one.
I might sing it, though. You know I might do I'll do a cover of it. You know I will.
Okay, so I was just going to say very quickly,
yeah.
Hello to Harry Andrews. It's been a while. Lovely to see you. Thank you for the claps and the comments. Hello, Courtney. Brian, hello. Trevor, hello. John, hello. Hope you're enjoying the CD. So John's just bought one of my CDs, which, if you want to buy one, you can. I'll tell you where at the end of the night.
I think that was upside down, Andy.
No, it wasn't.
Was it?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Right, now, so enough from us. Let's get our guests on, and let's start the show with some good music. So first
I've just saw the Emma Langford come on. That's Mr. Pete Kelly's partner in crime, like me and Jesse. So hello, Emma. Hope you're doing well.
Where have you seen that? Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So flying in all the way from across the pond, we have the wonderful, fantastic, I love this guy, Mr. Jesse Terry. Say hello to Jesse Terry.
Hello, everybody.
There you go.
How you doing?
Look at that. All us UK people are going, oh, the accent. He talks with that American twang. It's amazing.
That's right.
Welcome, Jesse. As I say, I hope we're going to see a little cameo from Lily and maybe Jess at some point. Lovely family.
That would be great. Yeah, they are lovely. Yeah. Lily's retired today, but
is Jess a photographer?
She is, yeah. She's a photographer. She was a pro photographer when I met her, and and now she's back to that full time as well as being a full time mom. So that's really exciting.
Oh, fantastic.
When you
Kind of a
post
silver
your
lining.
photos, I have to say, I kind of, and then you mentioned something somewhere saying that the photographs have been taken by Jess, and I thought, I know, she's a photographer. They are,
All
they
the
are
good,
very
all the good photos. Yeah.
They are very good. They are very good. And joining Jessie tonight with us, all the way from about 15 minutes down the road from me, is the equally wonderful Mr. Pete Kelly.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Pete. This feels
I haven't
like
got the same accent. It's a real disappointment when I speak.
No, it's not. No, it's
definitely
not.
not.
Not at all.
You got that Irish
so-
twang, Pete. That
I
hot
wish.
Irish twang.
I wish.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know one or other of our guests tonight, typically I would say, and this is just my view, I would say Jessie is a kind of country folk vibe, very kind of emotionally connected songs, beautiful kind of songs about his kind of feelings, his kind of experiences, things like that. Lovely.
Sensitive.
That's it. Sensitive. That's it.
It's all heart.
Yeah,
Sensitive, yeah. He's a big softie. He is, yeah.
that's right.
P is a brick.
Come on.
That is
over
not
here and
how I would
say
have said
that.
it, Pete.
I just had to do it. I couldn't resist.
Just change one letter. That's all.
So Pete is a kind of mash of folk and Celtic kind of vibes and things like that. And so Pete does solo stuff, and he also plays in a band called the Wild Irish.
Yeah.
And they are simply fantastic. And so I first met Pete at an open mic that he runs down the road, or did run down the road some years back. And he got up and played guitar. He didn't sing on the night, I don't think. He played guitar for somebody else. And I thought, geez, that is pretty awesome guitar playing. And then I saw some of his videos afterwards. I thought, geez, he's good. A really lovely style. Finger picking's beautiful, stuff like that. So,
Five is in the
audience are
post.
for a treat. Oh, hello, Lily. Can she hear us? She can't hear us, can she?
I want one. I want one. I could do one of those.
Daddy's got the headphones on.
She was right here. I could help it.
Yeah. She go, who are these strange men talking? So the usual format applies. So for those of you that have not seen the show before, we are going to just have a conversation. We're going to ask a bunch of questions about musical experiences, writing, things like that. And then we're going to hear some songs, and we're going to listen to some of the songs as well. And every time the artist sings, it will just be them on the screen. So we'll give them the whole attention. And then, that's it. Do you know what? That's beautiful. We've had dogs, we've had cats,
Here you go,
we've
sweetie.
had children.
I'm off. Totally upstage now.
Me too.
Yeah. Not yet. Wait till you get your party costume halfway through, Pete.
Oh, wow.
So Sam, do you want to start off with asking some questions, musical experiences, things like that, growing up?
Yeah, so guys, let's ask a couple of questions. So, what got you into music, and what got you songwriting? So, is there any particular person that you heard and you thought, I want to be like that person, or you just like the genre of music? Or so we'll get to Pete first, and then we'll get to
Me,
Jess
I've
after.
always liked singer-songwriters. Always. James Taylor's, Jim Croce, Gordon Lightfoot, people like that. And I mean, I got into them a little bit later. I was playing well before I heard those guys, but they blow me away. Even now, I mean, Gordon Lightfoot's about 81 and he's still out there playing, and it's amazing. And well, you know, they are all such great players and great singers.
Canada wheeled him out to do a special lockdown.
I saw it.
Yeah, that's
session.
right.
Did you see
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
We can't be beaten by this thing. Look, we're going to wheel out Gordon Lightfoot. He'll tell you. Yeah.
They'll be doing that to me soon.
He is fantastic, though. I do like Gordon Lightfoot. And
Jess,
not
what
just
about
for the
yourself?
obvious reasons like early morning rain and that.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
song.
I mean, some of the Edmund Fitzgerald, things like that, you can't. You
No,
go,
Winter's Night's my favourite. I love Winter's Night.
Oh, that's a good one. Actually, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Lyrically, he's a saint.
Yeah. And he used to go out with like just a 3-piece, you know, it was lovely. Just him, you know, with a guitar and a bass player and somebody who plays a bit of lead. And nice and simple, you know,
His
fantastic.
guitar player was phenomenal, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Red Shea, was it?
I'm not sure.
Red Shea, I think his name was. Awesome guitar. I think he probably died about 20 years ago, but he was an incredible guy. You'd look at him and it was a bit like Johnny Cash's guitar player, where it'd almost be like a statue, and you'd see all this beautiful finger picking going on. You'd be going, how is he doing that?
It's just so laid back.
Yeah.
It's so simple, isn't it? The great players make it look so easy.
Yeah. So I've just realised George Jones is in the house.
I love George Jones, man. He's a cool dude, talented guy.
Not the George Jones.
Is that George Jones back from the grave?
It is.
I was going to say, yeah.
He was.
Yeah, we can wish. Okay, so Jesse, same question to you.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm really like hearing Pete play today. I know that all of you, but him saying James Taylor right off the bat, that was the, you know, I started learning his songs, which led me to dropping out of art school. I was in art school, and I just started learning James Taylor songs and wanting to write a song, you know, and so that was really my whole. Really, my education was just James Taylor and the Beatles, others too, but really getting that finger picking stuff down to the point where now I can't really do it unless it's like, you know what I mean? It's too like, well, I mean, I can do it. It's too distinctive, you know. But it's
Everyone starts bursting into Fire and Rain and stuff.
Yeah, great song. Man.
Because he is, you know, he really is, I think, such an underrated guitar player. He was really an incredible guitar player. I mean, very distinctive. Nobody plays like him, and arranges songs the same way. So he was really a huge one for me. And then just, you know, writing that first song and just having people come back and say, oh, that maybe you might have something here. This might be something worth pursuing. You know, I mean, it still was a sucky song, but just being able to create that was like, it was more gratifying than any painting, you know. And I love painting.
Rob Payne saying, now some of us are influenced by Jesse Terry. That's nice.
Oh, that's very great. That's the dream, huh? That's kind of the dream, is when, I mean, George Jones learned one of my songs for Rob's niece, I think, my song Stargazer. I mean, that's just, you know, what a humbling thing. That's kind of why you think get into the whole writing thing, is like, you know, James was a comfort to me in my childhood, because my childhood really sucked. So I listened to James and Jackson Browne, and, you know, I knew they had it rough too. So I felt like I wasn't alone. So you write songs, and then people get comfortable.
There's another legend, isn't it? Jackson Browne.
Jackson Browne still going?
He's a good
still going,
yeah.
I always remember watching Bruce Springsteen induct him into the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and saying, if there's one person I could be, it would be Jackson Browne.
Yeah,
his songwriting's phenomenal.
He's just cool too, you know. He's a good-looking guy. I mean, he's definitely, you'd be like, I'd swap with him, you know. Even at
gray hair and glasses.
Even at 70.
I'll take the 30 years.
Yeah, I love the money. Yeah.
I'll lose the 30.
I'll take it on the chin.
And I have to say as well, kind of, Jesse's sitting there in a lovely loft apartment that looks like something out of Friends movie set. And kind of we're all sat here in our piddly little rooms. It's like amazing.
You know, we got this place. The rent is like, we used to live in New York, and like we lived in a studio, like I think it was 400 square feet tops, you know, and it was
a box,
you know, just a little box. And the rent was like $500 more there, you know, and that was like 7 years ago. Like, so it's just amazing. We're kind of out in the country, and you can't commute. Like, it's a good area in New England, but you really can't commute New York City or Boston from here. So it's nice. So the rent is
better
cheap.
Quality of life. Better quality of life.
Cheap around here as well.
I was going to say, the further north you go, the cheaper it gets.
Are you up there? Are you in northern England, Pete?
No, I'm in the West Midlands, the industrial West Midlands.
Oh,
the place where the Industrial Revolution kicked off.
Wonderful.
You know,
kind of go slap bang in the middle of the UK, and it's 2 hours to pretty much anywhere.
All change. It is actually 45 minutes to do it if I work at it.
Yeah.
So think about then, what was the point where you heard a song and you went, geez, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to write like. That's who I want to be like. What kind of song sticks in your mind that you would go, that's the one that stood out for me?
Time in a Bottle.
Time in a Bottle.
Jim Croce.
A good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a late developer to Jim Croce. I probably only discovered him about a year and a half ago.
Yeah. I didn't like everything he did, but some of it was a bit different for me. But the classics are great. Lovers Cross, things like that. Yeah.
And what a shame. He kind of lost his life just as he was about to kind of rock it. It's a real shame. But in a short career, in terms of famous career, he did some amazing stuff. Really unusual looking as well, wasn't he, for the time?
Oh, yeah.
You kind of go, you wouldn't put a Stetson on that, would you?
And that moustache, I can't grow that now. I can't grow it now. Look at me. Yeah.
It's like, he looks like he should have been in Cuba somewhere, kind of on a kind of drug farm or something like that. But when he sang, you went, oh my God. His voice and his songwriting was brilliant. Okay, so Jim Croce, that song, yeah. Jesse, what about you?
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be a James Taylor, is it?
All the James Taylor, but I think also like hearing Michelle for the first time and just being like, wow, that's a song, that's a melody right there. I mean, you don't need to be a fan of, you don't need to be not a fan, but you don't need to be a scholar of music to know that's a hell of a melody,
Yeah.
And and everything. So it just, I love that stuff so much too.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. When I was in the States a few years ago now, I learned all these country songs because on the West Side. So I learned all these country songs thinking they'd all be asking for country. All they wanted was Beatles songs.
Yeah, it's true.
So I had to go back to the motel and write all the lyrics out because I didn't know them.
Depending on where you are in the country. But yeah, well, everybody loves the Beatles, So, but yeah, it's funny. It is funny when you go over to the UK and people are like, oh, you're a country singer. It's like, well, I haven't heard that one before. But, we all view the genres differently. And when you go to Liverpool, people are expecting, wanting to hear your songs, not Beatles covers, obviously, So it's funny how that works.
Rob Payne there is saying West Midlands, the home of industrial revolution, but definitely not football.
Absolutely.
I wonder why that is.
Hey.
Rob Payne, Roy Orbison was the king.
Yeah, Roy Orbison was good.
Roy.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah, another great lyricist as well. So again, so underrated. And when you think he was touring in the tour caravans with the likes of Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis, and all those at the time.
Yeah, and didn't he look very different at the time, though?
That's right.
How he changed his image as time went on.
He was a rock and roller, wasn't he? At the
what a singer!
Kind of rock and roller.
Yeah, the range he got, Jess, wasn't it? The range in his voice, phenomenal.
Nobody will ever, nobody will ever sing like Roy. He's one of those to me. I mean, it's kind of like an Aretha Franklin or something. Nobody will ever sing. Like, it's just, that's a beautiful thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So enough talking. We're going to do a little bit more in a little while. But now these wonderful people have tuned in to listen to you. So we're going to get you to do a couple of songs. So if we start this round with Jesse. So Jesse, if you do 2 songs for us.
Oh, okay.
We'll drop back into the backstage area so that you've got the floor to yourself.
Okay.
What I would say is 2 songs. Tell us about the songs. Tell us the story behind the song, and then when you're done with your 2 songs, we'll literally just swap you straight over with Pete, and then Pete will do exactly the same. 2 songs. Introduce the songs. Tell us about the story, and I tell you what, Lily's got a good range on her, isn't she?
Lily's she's a belter, man. I mean, well, she's probably going to go next door in a second, but we decided we'd do an Instagram live for. Sweetie, you're really projecting today, Lily. Can you do a lion before you leave? Sweetie? I remembered it. So I have to get out of this. All right, I'm going to go to my non-echo thing as well. Okay. Well, yeah.
Right. So we'll drop out into the background, and the floor's yours. 2 songs, and I'll swap straight over with Pete.
Thanks, guys. Sounds
see you
great.
In a minute.
Sounds great. So this song is the first song I wrote for my daughter Lily ever, and it's become one of my favorite songs. Folks here who are watching on Instagram Live, thanks for tuning in, and also you can catch a full show over at my Facebook page and also at the Songbird Sessions page. We're doing a full concert with some really talented people. So I'm just gonna play one song here, and then feel free to come over. But we were on tour, and we had just played a show in Jersey, and we had some friends let us stay at their place in the Jersey Shore, and this song just kind of came to me, just because of the beautiful images there, and then I finished it later at home. But a song called "If I Were the Moon." It kind of speaks for itself, this song. If I were the moon, I'd light all of your back roads. You wouldn't need no headlights. I'd always be full. If I were the moon, I'd carry you through the high tides. You could always reach out for me and feel my gentle pull. If I were the moon, I'd always be near. I'd always be wide-eyed in the big wild blue, and watching over you. If I were the moon, I'd send down all my fireflies. I'd shine with the perfect light and lead you to dance. If I were the moon, I'd always be near. I'd always be wide-eyed in the big wild blue, watching over you. If I were the moon, I'd always be near. I'd always be wide-eyed in the big wild blue, watching over you. That's If I Were the Moon. We're gonna do one more. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I just got a flower from my daughter after that one. I'm gonna do one more, sweetie. You can keep it rolling. Folks on Instagram, folks on back there at home on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching today and for having me. Oh, sorry. I just knocked into the guitar. It's like a very Spinal Tap move there. I'm playing two guitars at once. I'm a solo on the White Falcon over here. This next song is another song off this new album. I actually have a album coming out May 14th called When We Wander. The first single's coming out in just a few days now. I can't believe it. And this is a song called Hymn of a Summer Night. And I grew up in a little town in New England, that we all complained about, of course. And looking back now, it was just a perfect place. And we had this river, and there was nothing to do, so we got into a lot of trouble down by the river as far as just drinking and and girls and all kinds of things. And you know, and my childhood was pretty turbulent, but it's funny how when you look back and things are so rose-colored, and you think about those nights down at the river and getting into trouble, and it's just this beautiful, it becomes this like beautiful story and image, like it's out of a movie. So I kind of wanted to capture that feeling and that perfect hymn of a summer night. When we were 16, used to run these rooftops, used to own these streets. There was always a chance I would kiss Maria and not go home again in defeat. There was never any fear, just the hymn of a summer night, ringing out so clear. You could hear it, hear the hymn of a summer night. All of us met on the banks when we got older, figured it was time to get out. But one by one we came crawling back. There's something about this simple river town, and there was never any fear, just the hymn of a summer night, ringing out so clear. You could feel it, hear the hymn of a summer night. I don't remember ice and snow or walking that road when my sweetheart said she don't love me no more. But I can hear the radio full blast, touch that rusty window latch, feel the current rush between my toes. And I remember liquor stores on the state line and branches lit by moonlight, where we hung our clothes out all night. There was never any fear, just the hymn of a summer night, ringing out so clear. Well, you could hear it, you could hear it, hear the hymn of a summer night. Hymn of a summer night, the hymn of a summer night. Thank you very much for listening, y'all.
So that's our first fantastic two songs from Jesse. Stay tuned. So those who've just tuned in, you've only missed him do probably one song if you got the second one. But he will be doing some more as well, so we'll be chatting a little bit more. So right now we're going to drop him into the background so that he can take his breath and kiss his lovely daughter for bringing him that lovely little flower. And then we'll bring in the equally wonderful Mr. Pete Kelly. So Jesse, we'll see you in a
Hello
sec.
again. Nice set, Jess. That was lovely.
So Pete, two songs. Please kind of introduce the songs and kind of tell us about them, and then we'll chat a little bit more. So the floor is yours.
My pleasure. Right, hello everybody. Yeah, I'm going to do an old song that I wrote, and I wrote it after a long period of feeling low. You know, we all go through sort of low times in our lives, and I had a bit of a low time at one point. And this song I wrote after a phone call. It was a phone call from my son, who I hadn't seen for a couple of years, you know, and it just made my day, and it changed my life really. This phone call did, and so this song came from that. It's called Easy. I suppose it's about me, bit laid back sometimes. So I hope you like it. This is called Easy. I'm kinda laid back, I am. Play guitar in an Irish band. I'm a free and easy man. I try to live in by the book, but every which way that I took led me from my promised land. Now I'm easy, and I can ride the wind. I'm easy, I love the shoes that I'm in. I have to tell you now that I'd like to take a bow to free and easy. Had my share of the losing time at the bottom of the mine, I know wondering where to go. Never liking what I saw in the mirror on the door, and feeling 1 degree below. Now I'm easy, and I can ride the wind. I'm easy, and I love the shoes that I'm in. And I have to tell you now that I'd like to take a bow to free and easy. Well, I'm strong and I'll fight. Well, I know that I am right. At last I've found a path where I can go. Well, I found a way to find those better days, and I'm flying with the wind to take me home. But now my mind's at peace, much better than any feast, and warmer than a fire. I'm enjoying every day, at home or here at play, doing the things that I desire. Now I'm easy, and I can ride the wind. I'm easy, and I love the shoes that I'm in. And I have to tell you now that I'd like to take a bow to free and easy. Free and easy. Right, I hope I'll turn this reverb off a little bit now. I hope you like that. That's easy. Brings back real good memories, sad memories at the beginning, but great memories later on. Right, yes. This is a song I wrote, strangely enough, after going on a long holiday to America. And I've been a few times now. The last time I went, I think it was a couple of months. I had a fantastic time. Met so many people. Just went every state, left of centre, and I had a great time. But before I went, I just imagined what it would be like. I wrote this after seeing a photograph on a picture in a magazine, and it was a road, long road. Jess will know this. The road that goes right into Monument Valley in Arizona, and I thought one day I'm going to drive up that road, and I did a few times now, I'm happy to say. So I wrote this song about that road. I called it Reservation Road because it goes right through the Navajo Indian Reservation. So I'm just going to drop a couple of strings here. If anybody's interested, this is in Iadgad. Okay, so this is called Reservation Road. I'll tell you more about my trip later on. It's great. Had a great time. I hate strings. Okay, Reservation Road. Money in my pocket, time is on my side. Maybe take a plane to Arizona. I've looked at all the pictures, no place there to hide. Reservation Road goes miles and miles. Well, I've got no love for cowboys, they don't turn me on. So why I want to go there, I just don't know. Maybe open spaces, just as far as I can see, or driving down that long and empty road. Oh, Arizona, I'm flying with my dreams to take me there. Oh, Arizona, on the Reservation Road to God knows where. Well, I'm flying through the desert, nothing left or right. I shouldn't touch 100, but I might. Taking in those memories, pictures of the scene. No one else can share it, only me. Oh, Arizona, I'm flying with my dreams to take me there. Oh, Arizona, on Reservation Road to God knows where. Well, maybe I'll take my guitar, and maybe I'll find a bar, and I'll try to write a song about how I feel. I hope it feels the same way as I see it in my dreams. Reservation Road, you'll soon be here. Oh, Arizona, flying with my dreams to take me there. Oh, Arizona, on Reservation Road to God knows where. On Reservation Road to God knows where. On Reservation Road to God knows where. Reservation Road. Hope that was okay.
It was marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. That was great. So is this the first time you've done a live stream in this kind of format, Pete?
Let me think.
You've done Zoom
Yes.
sessions, haven't you?
Yeah. Where you can make mistakes and just fall flat on your face. Yes. This is the first one I've done. I've done a few recorded ones.
Don't try
And
and curse it. Yeah.
funnily enough, I'm doing one in I got a thing with in Bavaria in Germany tomorrow, and they've got me down as plug it. Yeah, the English folk club. Yeah, I get on, and they've got me down as Pete Kelly from the USA. So that's quite hip, isn't it?
I was gonna say, cool and retro, man.
Hey, cool. I have to change my accent. I'd swear when I spoke to the organizer that did he not recognise my accent?
Yeah, I thought you were Russian.
That's right.
So two fabulous
definitely.
songs, and again from Jesse, two fabulous songs
So good,
from the
Pete.
off.
Cheers,
So-
Jess.
So hopefully you're gonna realise that this is a smash of a show. So what I would say is, before we go into the next kind of little bit of chat, is one thing you can do. So every time we come here, we pick artists who we think their writing style, their performing is just a level above that very typical kind of mediocrity. So we choose very special people. So again, you can help them out, and we'll share links to their pages in a little while, so you can connect up with them. There'll be ways that you can buy CDs if you want to buy those sorts of things as well. But also, what I would say is, it's a great help for us to keep you kind of connecting with new artists and kind of connecting artists together and that. So just like our Songbird Sessions UK page on Facebook, subscribe to that, and also
Share it about.
like the guys as well. And it just means every time we kind of do one of these at the end of the month, we can bring you new artists, different artists. And again, they don't know it yet, but if Jesse and Pete hopefully will come back in probably a year's time to do some more with us, because we're going to continue this even while.
Got to carry it on after COVID. I don't want COVID to go on for another year.
We're not going to stop this just because COVID goes away. So we've had some great comments. So hopefully, Pete and Jesse, you can see the comments as well.
I'll put my glasses on to see that. Oh,
But we've had some lovely
Straight Craig
comments for both of you, which is fantastic.
can't
I
see it.
didn't
I love
realise
my friend there, old timer in Holland. What a great guy, fellow musician, but what a great.
I didn't even realise that it was a play on words. Old timer.
Yeah, I didn't either for a while. It's Hubert. Yeah, he's a good man, and lots of
I
my
must be so
friends
stupid.
here. But it's great to meet so many new people as well. It's just great to have everybody come together that loves music.
Yeah, that is the good thing about this lockdown, isn't it? You can meet people on Facebook. I'd never have seen and met you, seen you at all. There's loads of people I've met.
Oh yeah, there's so many people out there, and so many music lovers. I think that's you're right. Such a silver lining that we've been able to connect, and that's good, Andy, that you keep them going, because I think I probably won't do mine weekly after the pandemic, but I'll be out on the road, But I still want to keep them going, whether it's once a month. It's just I
think that
for everyone to keep on connecting,
Well, if you had your choice to kind of pick a bunch of people to sit in a room with and jam and play around with, the chances are you'll have met some people from right across the States. Pete, you'll have met a load of people from the UK. You'll have met probably people from Europe, and you kind of go, it would be nice. And the beauty of this is it allows us to do that. So it allows us to bring someone from the UK, someone from the US, get them together. And not only do you two kind of discover somebody new and different, but also our audience kind of goes, I came along to listen to Jesse and now I'm listening to Pete. Pete's awesome. Or
It's
I came
great.
along to listen to Pete and now I've discovered Jesse, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if
nobody then discovers us? But
wouldn't it be nice if the technology was there to sort of play together live, on the odd song? You could do a James Taylor song together or something like that,
I'm hoping by the next pandemic we have that technology together. You think they
Yeah, it's sussed by then.
Are you working on it? You're working on the next one.
when you think
He's got a lab in the back of his.
actually a lab. It's lovely, but you should see the rest of the room. It's all
Do you think
bunch
it's
of monkeys
only,
on that side.
It's only 1 or 2 seconds delay, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking if someone could crack that, would be great. But
They can put freaking man on. Well, now they get something on Mars, and they can't get this freaking delay sorted.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing the other day? So someone showed an image of the Mars thing, and it was a crystal clear, high definition image. And then they showed a picture of somebody at a bank, robbing a bank, and it was pixelated and blurry. And they said, "How can we get it so clear on Mars and not in the?" Right. So let's ask.
I was going to say something, but I thought no way.
Hilarious.
So let's ask some more questions. Again, any of our audience, if you want to, there's quite a lot of people on, so we might miss the odd comment. So if we have,
Just
ask it again. But do ask questions of the artists as well for things you want to kind of hear and know about. So question about, so this is about songwriting. So tell us about your approach, your general approach to songwriting. So how do you go about it? Does it start with words first? Does it start with melody? Does it mix and match? All that kind of stuff. So we'll start with, who did we start with last time?
Pete, I think we're on Jesse this
Pete.
time.
So we'll go with Jesse this time. So what's your general approach to songwriting then? What's your process?
Yeah, so it's changed a lot, over the years since I've been doing it. I think that's probably good, because I think when you're first starting, you just write, but now when I'm in like a songwriting session, songwriting season, I should say, like, because it usually works out to be like seasons for me. I'm just like, I'm making sure that I'm doing lots of creative work in the first thing in the morning, like lots of artist way kind of stream of consciousness writing to just get the senses moving, and to I just feel like you never want to start from a blank canvas if you don't have to, I mean, eventually, like every once in a while, like one of those songs just kind of tumbles out like it came from somewhere else. But I think if you're working every day, it's nice to have some things in your toolbox. So I have a big lyric list that, sometimes a big title list. And sometimes like my favorite song, that title was there for 5 years, it just takes a while for the right melody to come along that makes that perfect marriage.
So let me ask you another question then. Do you write in kind of bits? So you'll maybe in the morning you'll kind of go, I'm going to write a little while, and then you'll write something, but it may not be a song, it may just be bits and pieces, and then you keep them for later reference and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have like on my iPhone, I just make sure like when anything tumbles out like that I feel like is special or magical, I make sure I've learned to make sure to capture that. Same thing with an idea or a title. I'll say, honey, please, text that title to me, and I'll make sure that it's it gets down onto paper. And often I start a writing session by listening to those gibberish melodies, just like how McCartney wrote yesterday. I think was it
Ham and Eggs.
Ham and Eggs or something. Yeah, that stuff all really works, and just finding out where vowel sounds sound good, and that can start you with a word or a vowel, and you can get rhymes to that, and it just can spark so many things. So
do you often start? So have you done it the other way around, where you start with melody, and then you let the melody prescribe what you're going to write, or is it 90% always the words first?
No, it's always, for me, it's mainly melody first. I was just saying that I have them. I think the melody for me has to drive it. And then, but I have like words and titles and stuff stored, that can help once that beautiful melody or that magical melody is there. I have lots of titles and bits of things, but I've never written like a poem or lyrics first, because I feel like that, it's not poetry. it's a song. So it has to be that perfect marriage of you can write the most beautiful lyric, but if it's not married to the right vowels and the right prosody and the right melody, I don't think it does the complete job, that it can do when it's a really great song. So and I sit down to work, and I probably 4 or 5 hours is pretty, like, if you're really, really engaged and focused, and that's probably enough for me to like completely fry my brain out, and then knowing when to stop, and then
It's interesting as well because
I approach it that way.
So you talk about, it's work. I sit down and I know that I want to spend time writing songs. And it's interesting because we did a songwriters webinar thing quite a while ago, and there are those people who kind of go, I just want to be inspired, and I want that moment of inspiration. I always remember reading about Lennon and McCartney, but also Leonard Cohen, going, whilst you sit there and wait for inspiration, we get in the studio and we actually write some things because we know we've got to produce an album. And
Exactly.
you kind of go,
That's how I feel.
sometimes the inspiration might come part way down the line.
Yeah, the
You're trying
inspiration.
to give it a kickstart,
It's like a novelist or something. They sit down to work, and exactly like you said, even if you're not in the mood for it that day, like if you have the right preparation, that perfect melody or that beautiful title or lyric can make you inspired. But I try to do that, and I try to make sure that I have, for me, blocks and blocks of hours of time, like no phone calls scheduled, no business stuff. Like it has to be la la land for me. Everyone's different though, but for me, that's I feel like that's a good way to work, for me personally.
Okay. So thank you very much for that. Pete,
Yeah.
is yours similar or
Follow
is it
that.
totally different?
It's very different. It is. I started off years ago in the early 80s, and some of the songs I did today I wrote then, one or two. But when I got sort of involved with the band, the Irish band, I pretty much stopped writing for about 20 years because I wasn't doing any solo stuff. So there was no incentive to write, And then I had a few people come and do some recordings here. And they'd written songs. And it got me going again because I thought, I've got all these songs that I wrote years ago, and I don't want to write some more. So away we went, and the last 10 years I've been doing that. But it's a total mishmash of ways of doing things. Sometimes it's just the lyrics first. Sometimes the whole thing comes all at once. And if it does that, it's just like grease lightning. If you've got it in your head, it's like the song's there in 20 minutes. Cowboy for a Day, which I should do later, I probably wrote that in 25 minutes. And Build Me a Boat, that one that Sam likes. Seconds to write it. The whole thing just came. Other things, but it's got to hit me there. I can't just I won't write it unless it sort of makes me feel something. So it's either something that's happened to me, something I've seen, something I've witnessed, somebody I've spoken to has told me something. There's one I wrote, somebody passed away across the road. So I wrote a song about it because he got me there because I really liked the guy who passed away. And it's really got to sort of hit me, I can't write the tune and then do the lyrics afterwards. I don't know why. It's either comes together, because mind you, I forget the tunes anyway. But build Me a Boat, and this song I'll do later on. I had to phone myself. I had the idea. I had to phone myself up at home, and I wasn't at home, obviously. I left a message, and I had to tell myself what to write about. And it's all over the place, really. But unless I'm out there working, I'm not writing. I've become a bit lazy the last couple of years, and I'm really cross with myself. I've done a couple, but I'm not as prolific as Jess, possibly because I still play with the band. You see, well, when we get back, and we are busy, and so really there hasn't been that much time to or that much incentive to go and write. But I just slot them in from time to time. I'll come up with a new one and slot it in. So
And
that's me.
I guess it's right that you kind of go, if I'm not in the frame of mind to do it, then actually if I try and force it to happen, the danger is I write something that just I don't buy into, I don't believe in, it doesn't feel right, or whatever that might be.
A couple of months ago, I tried one about a local witch. She was a witch, would you believe? A local witch in Stourbridge. And I'd got everything on the board, all the history of it, everything. But I just could not get into it at all because it didn't get me there.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
What about where you write then? So Jesse, you've kind of talked about the fact that you'll write in the morning, and also this concept of season writing.
Well,
So do you find you have a place or a particular kind of place you like to go that kind of brings out the best in you when you're writing, or is it just anywhere?
Well, yeah. So generally, like, when I'm touring full time, like, I'll have like little blocks of time at home to write. I mean, I do write, in other places as well, but generally, like when you're on tour and stuff, or even if you have a couple days off, if you have a couple days off in Ireland, you kind of want to like see Ireland, and then, and take notes there and little voice memos and stuff. And then I'll come home and write. And I've just done my best to, make our little 1-bedroom place, a really inspiring, beautiful place, our little paradise, even if it's a 1-bedroom, and so there's a great table over here that I love to write at. That's just really set up. But and like I say work, but work is, we have this negative correlation with work. Like if you're doing joyful work, it's not really work. That's just a name for it, and it can be very inspiring work. And like Pete says, like, man, when that song tumbles out, I mean, sometimes you have to get through a couple rough days before that song just like pours out of you. But man, that's wonderful, and that's usually the best. That's usually the best song, Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I guess it's something where you go, if the atmosphere is right, so it's the right vibe, it's the right light, it's the right.
You do your best.
It can be anywhere,
Late at night when it's quiet, it's lovely.
Okay.
That's nice too. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I don't do that quite as much, but that's really fun too.
So
But you're up all night now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm busy at night now. In the early days, I would stay up all night and just drink coffee, and I love that too. I mean, and I think we're going to take some writing retreats together as a family, and maybe rent a little house up in Maine on the coast if we can afford it later. It's just, but I don't use that as an excuse. Like we have, if we're in a motel room, we can do it. If we're home, that seems to be usually when I'm writing, because
the good thing for you is you can take your photographer away with you.
Yes,
and you have on hand babysitting and everything.
Yes, yeah, I'm very lucky in that way. Yeah. Just
so
the
Pete,
best.
So Pete, you kind of write late at night, kind of when it's quiet and peaceful and things like that. Do you find the place you write in and things like that conditions almost like the song that comes out? Because Sam and I often have this conversation about Passenger, for example, where sometimes it can feel quite similar when you listen to an album. Do you ever worry about that? Is it something that would concern you at all?
Yeah. If I find that I'm writing and they start to sound the same, I will completely change the tune on something, and the style as well. I've done that loads of times, because all of a sudden you suddenly realise that you're playing the same chords, or you've got the same feel to the same song. I've had to juggle some of these around a little bit today, so I don't sort of get that same sort of vibe,
So you just do that yourself. So you kind of go, this sounds the same. I need to just change it up a little bit. And
I know as soon as when you start to play it, this is too much like the last one,
Right.
And I mean,
Jesse,
it's happened to me twice, hasn't it? So it's happened to me with 2 songs, but I wouldn't change it, because I like both songs, but they're very similar in the chord structure anyway.
Right.
But yeah, but as long as it's really, it's got to be quiet. I've got to be in the mood. It's got to be quiet. I've got to have an idea in my head, and then I find it easy then. Once it's there, it just goes.
I did say, I didn't realise I was on mute. I said, you do hide it very clever, Pete.
Thank you very much. I didn't
do hide
realise
it.
until you told me.
I clicked, I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there thinking,
No, what it is, I've got 2 songs, Jess, and I didn't realise. I play one in an open tuning and one, and they are very, very similar. And I never twigged until Sam told me, and I thought I'm
same chords, same chords, but different.
I'm going to kill him.
That's a very good. And that's a hard.
Conscious.
Hard call.
I could talk for hours.
yeah.
We normally do. I'm conscious. I want to get another couple of songs in so that we kind of have a chance for another 2 after that. So we'll get on with some more music. One question that did come up, which was from Rob. I think I might have missed it.
Oh, rewriting.
How many times? What does it say? How many times do you rewrite either the lyrics or the music to your songs?
That's a good
question. Do you find yourself in positions where you rewrite stuff?
Not the whole thing. I don't. Maybe tweak it. You sing it, and you think, oh, that will fit better. You come up with an idea.
Right.
So I don't never change the
rather than fundamental change.
Yeah, I might change the tune slightly. That chord progression sounds better than this one, and then just tweak some lyrics. I've never completely rewritten a song. No.
Jesse, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a complete rewrite, it's almost like another song.
It's another song.
And that happens.
That happens. So at this point, if it's sounding like I wrote a mediocre or average song, I'd probably just ditch it. And there's some songs like that I've finished even that are just sitting there. I haven't thought about them in years. Like when I had a publishing deal in Nashville, it was too much. It was like a factory, but I'd co-write at least once or twice a day for 5 years. So there's so many bad songs that came out of that. And that's too much work, like being, and uninspired, like Pete was saying, like that's a whole other conversation.
It's a sausage factory, isn't it? It's just trying to produce one. You see, you kind of go, let's get a bunch of people together, write 1,000 songs, and then at least we might get 1 or 2 that are absolute gold mines,
But these songs that die, there's usually something in them that you can pluck out maybe a year later or 2, a phrase or something, or an idea from the song, or that old song might start you off on a new one,
Yeah.
But I mean, as Pete said, though, I do think like during the, for me anyway, during the creative process, like not to be too harsh on myself, or not to edit too much, because I do edit afterwards or tweak. I mean, some songs, there's a lot of rewriting. I mean, definitely in the lyrics, not as much the melody usually, but, I'm totally okay with rewriting, and that's when you can be more critical. Because if you're too critical as you're creating, it tends to affect the emotion for me, I think, you can't let go if you can edit as you're singing, as you're writing.
I remember being stood in the Ryman Auditorium, and they've got these glass cabinets on the wall, and in there is a copy of a handwritten Hank Williams song, Your Cheating Heart. And then next to it is another copy with rewrites and things like that. So I think, do you know what? If it's good enough for him, it's okay by me.
Absolutely,
yeah. It works for him.
I've got songs that are so personal to me that I'll never sing them.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And I quite like the songs, but they're just too personal.
I'll be in tears of some of the songs that I've written. I could never expose the public to that. Right, we'll get on with some more songs, and then we'll come back and have a little bit more conversation. So, who went first last time? Jesse went first last time. So, Pete.
Yeah.
We're going to go first. So again, same format, 2 songs, introduce the songs, we'll give you the floor, and then Jesse, I'll just swap you straight over, and again, 2 from you as well.
Can't wait to hear Pete. Go get him.
We shall drop into the background and see you in a mo.
Me again. Right, talking of personal songs, this is a personal song to me. Talking of strange ways of writing songs, I had an idea for this song. I'll tell you about it in a second. And I just couldn't think of how to write it. The song is about a sensory room in a special school. I worked with special needs children for many, many years, and I had a wonderful time. Kids were great, staff were great, schools were great. Absolutely wonderful. And we had sensory rooms, which is like a small room full of bubble tubes and lights and nice smells, maybe some quiet music going on. And there was a little girl called Katie, and she was sat there in her wheelchair, just looking at sort of things that were happening on the ceiling, lights flying around and stuff hanging down. And she just had this great smile on her face. And I thought, I've got to write a song for Katie and about this sensory room, if you like. And for ages, I just couldn't get my head around it at all. Now then, here's a strange one. I was going cycling. So I got my cycling kit on, shoes on, my shorts on. I got my cycling helmet on and my goggles on. And all of a sudden, this idea came into my head. So I went into the bedroom, got some paper out, and just sat there in all this gear and wrote this song. And it's called Room of Dreams. So I hope you like it. That's where it came from. Ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous. But this song brings back wonderful memories for me. And I hope you like it. Oh, room of dreams, things are never really what they seem. Sometimes I'm thinking about kings and queens when I'm sitting in my room of dreams. Day to night, colors drifting in the cracks of light, wire up the yellows and fluoresce the greens when I'm sitting in my room of dreams. Well, I don't know what's going on in the world below. My mind's just drifting through a sky of snow. The music lifts me up with ease, and I can feel my head is spinning like a Catherine wheel. And though I know this room just can't be real, I'm happy drifting on the breeze. Room of dreams, touching textures inside rainbow beams, fills my head and makes me want to scream when I'm sitting in my room of dreams. Magic blooms, colors drifting like a sea of moons, as if they're floating in a gentle stream when I'm sitting in my room of dreams. I want to stay, I never want the night to turn to day, never want this world to go away, this room where senses all collide. Because every day I see a world in which I just can't play, full of words that often I can't say, but in this room I sing inside. Things are never really what they seem. Sometimes I'm thinking about kings and queens when I'm sitting in my room of dreams. In my room of dreams where I can hear the songs. In my room of dreams where I can sing along. Room of Dreams. Brings back wonderful memories for me. Right, we'll move on a little bit. I did Reservation Road earlier, so this is the song that I wrote after my last trip to the States. And I think I drove around every single state in the sort of left half. Is that the west half? Yeah, west half of America, apart from Idaho, Oregon. I missed those, and Washington. I missed those three. And while we were there, we went into Monument Valley, and we went to Diné not riding school, just like a riding school, I suppose, where they took you off on riding around Monument Valley, and they took us around all the places where John Huston had made his early films with John Wayne. They took us to all these strange places, and we stayed in a Hogan. We lived in a Hogan for a few days, and the local guy, Jameson, his name was. His family they're still there now. The Diné riding school, and they looked after us. And the one night we were sitting in our Hogan, which is like an old mud hut type of thing, and which is great in the winter, great in the summer. And these lights, car lights, sort of shone through the cracks around the door, and a knock on the door, and Jameson came in. Apparently he was the local medicine man, which we didn't know. So he came in to get some stuff. And he sat down, and we were singing things like Country Roads and Leaving on the Jet Plane, and he borrowed the guitar and turned it into a drum, and he sang us some songs in Navajo, which was fabulous. Anyway, we went riding, and my horse was called Whiskey, and we rode Long Leg, a la John Wayne, and this is the song that came out of it. So I hope you like this. It's called Cowboy for a Day. Well, I flew to Phoenix and I hired a car. I drove up north and I found a bar. Past Sedona, along the road to Tuba City and the Navajo. Painted desert in the early morn, it made me glad that I was born. Not too long before I go to ride the desert with the Navajo. Yes, I was a cowboy for a day, western saddle, my whiskey gray, riding long leg so I could say that I was a cowboy. I was a cowboy for a day. Well, I chose my hat and I met my guide. I chose my horse and up I climbed, and then we rode into the sun. At first we'd canter, but then we'd run. Well, I held on tight so not to fall. Through sand and water we did it all. My whiskey grey ran through a stream. She gave me chance to live my dreams. Yes, I was a cowboy for a day. Western saddle, my whiskey grey. Riding long legs so I could say that I was a cowboy. I was a cowboy for a day. I rode the trails just like John Wayne. We rode up hills then down again. He said, now just before you go, I'll sing you a song in Navajo. His voice rang out, then it slowly died. I could have sworn that desert cried. For days long gone and ways of old, stolen dreams just for bags of gold. Yes, I was a cowboy for a day. Western saddle, my whiskey grey. Riding long legs so I could say that I was a cowboy. I was a cowboy for a day. Well, we rode again on other days. We laughed and joked about modern ways. Then it was time for me to go, and I left my friends in Navajo. Yes, I was a cowboy for a day. Western saddle, my whiskey grey. Riding long legs so I could say that I was a cowboy. I was a cowboy. I was a cowboy for a day. I was a cowboy for a day. I was a cowboy for a day. Cowboy for a day. Hope that was okay.
That was fantastic. Well done, Pete.
Merci, thank you.
Amazing songs, absolutely amazing songs. And again, fantastic comments coming through. And again, people who have not seen you before going, wow, that's really, really good. Glad I've come across you, you know. So it's good. So
Thank
we'll
you.
swap you straight over with Jesse, and then we'll talk a little bit more in a little while.
Okay.
Jesse, two songs
Wow,
to
yeah.
you. Ball's yours.
Thank you.
Don't
Wow.
worry, people, that echo will disappear because we have a slight challenge. So I shall leave you on the floor, Jesse. Two songs, introduce your songs, and then we'll see you in a minute.
Great, thanks, buddy. Pete Kelly, what a wonderful thing to discover Pete today and hear his beautiful songs. Wow, really, really. My friend Kate said he sounded like a calm Richard Thompson or something, which is a great compliment. But really brilliant. Hopefully we can play together in the future when I come across the pond. So I have a new a single coming out on March 3rd, and we just announced it. And actually, if you go on my Facebook page right now, you can pre-save this on Spotify, and it's the title track of my new record called When We Wander. And this song really was, I think it was written right after I came back from a crazy very busy UK and Europe tour with my family. I tour with my family, my wife and my daughter, and so the song was probably written in 2018, 2019. It was very literal, it was really about our wandering and about going for this traveling life that we have, this unconventional touring life that we have, and just going for it as a family. It's really not something that a parent would advise a child normally to do. Yeah, sure, just get married, take the family on the road. But we've done it, and it's been, with its challenges, it's been really amazing. And then right after we recorded this song and did the music video for it, the pandemic hit, pushed back our release date a full year of the whole album, and everything changed. And this song about wandering, as we're all staying home and being safe and on lockdown, it really changed so much. And I realized that wandering was just so much more than just physical wandering. It also has such meaning as far as going for things, and we've wandered in many different ways, including building a home studio this year and making music in different ways and connecting with people in different ways. So this song is really deepened for me, which is great. It's called When We Wander.
Nobody knows that glint in your eyes. You'd leave this home we built in a moment's time and sail away without knowing the wind. For we may never have a chance again. When we wander, don't it feel like we're finally found? When we wander, we always find our way somehow. Someday we may raise a child of our own, and everybody tells you how a flower's supposed to grow. But I love the way you only listen to the stars and chart a course from the rhythm of a heart. When we wander, don't it feel like we're finally found? When we wander, we always find our way somehow. We've seen things that can't be bought, chose not to be afraid, 'cause everything has its cost. But here I will remain, where the wildest horses run, 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 run. When we wander, don't it feel like we're finally found? When we wander, we always find our way. We always find our way. We always find our way somehow.
It's When We Wander. Oh, good to see you, Viv Fish, Rob Payne, Sarah. Thank you, Harry. Thanks for following me over there. Before I play another song, this is a few years old, but we were talking about songwriting with Pete and the fellas, and just how some songs just seem to kind of tumble out and like they came from some place else, and this was one of those songs. I think this song was originally about me believing in myself and going through a difficult time, and it's become like kind of a inspiring song for me. It's something that I go back to and helps me believe in things. It's a song called Stargazer. It's been especially helpful during this time because there's a line in it that says, "You are free now to pick your universe," and I love that. I love that idea of being able to have a say in your world and construct it the way you'd like. This is Stargazer. Go on, Stargazer, don't ever shield your eyes. Desert your fortress, you don't belong inside. Go on, Stargazer, I know it seems so far. Drown out their voices, you're not who they say you are. And I know your time is coming soon, coming soon. And no one can keep you here, but you. Go on, Stargazer, peer through the cosmic dust. You belong out there, you weren't born to rust. Go on, Stargazer, I know how much it hurts. But you are free now to pick your universe. And I know your time is coming soon, coming soon. And no one can keep you here, but you. No one can keep you here, Go on, Stargazer, embrace the brightest light. You must be fearless, but you can leave tonight.
Wow, that's one of
What a
those.
lovely song.
What
What a cracking song.
Let the echo. Put the echo.
Now you're looking up then.
Is that better?
That is one of those songs where you can so easily just get zoned out. I always remember, what was his name, the guitar player? I can't remember. It will come back to me. Oh, Leo
Kotke.
Skotke or whatever his name
Yes,
is.
yes, yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
he would say, he would start playing, and about 5 minutes in, he'd go, "Oh yeah, I was supposed to be playing you a song," because he would just completely zone out with what he was playing because he was so caught up in the vibe. That last song, Stargazer, that's one of those. That's one of those.
So much.
But I have to say, the second song you sang as well, Pete, what was it called?
Oh, Cowboy for a
Cowboy
Day.
for a Day.
That's epic. That's
It's a bit longer than that.
Unbelievable songs, Pete. Playing and singing and
The same to you, mate. Thank you.
I don't know if you're playing Dadgad or whatever you're playing, but it's
That one, that was this C tuning. That one. It's like
it's gorgeous.
C G C G C D D.
Oh.
But it's gorgeous. I mean, whatever tuning it is, it just I love the melodies and the.
Pete
Really,
will send it to you on a message.
We'll have to play a show when this is all over next year.
That sounds a great idea.
So our plan is we do want to do because we talked about this before lockdown. We did want to do a songwriter round where we do probably 2, maybe 3 acts, very intimate.
Nice. Where do I sign?
Kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
Well, the great thing
Right here,
is
right now.
we've now got a bunch of people who,
I put my cross.
because of this process, we've connected up. So it will happen. The challenge we'll always have coming out of this is we've got to get people back out to venues. We've got to get them coughing up money to buy a ticket to support artists like yourselves.
I think
because
they
if
will.
we don't get to that, it'll ruin artists that need it for their living. So that's our intention. So obviously we'll be completely open and transparent. You'll get 5%. We'll take 95% of them in.
As always.
That's a normal deal that I work with.
No. So the one thing we have said is we would never be in it to make money. So we just want to create a platform for artists to be able to share more, connect more, and can I connect with audience more and stuff like that as well. So we shall keep watching this space. Right, we've got a few more questions, and I would love to get another couple of songs in if we can before the kind of 9:30 time. So, Sam.
Okay, then. So, big top question, guys. For me, there's a song out there that's lyrically absolutely fantastic. So, what is the one song that if you could pick any song that you thought was the absolute lyrically fantastic song you've ever heard, what song would it be?
Oh boy.
So
I think I might go something like "Shower the People," James Taylor.
Okay, yeah, James Taylor. Yeah. Okay.
Why that song then? What?
Yeah.
I just think it's a
song?
lovely sentiment. The whole thing. So shower the people with love. I just think it's a great sentiment. Shower the people you love with love. I mean, what better sentiment can you say?
That says it.
Well, I remember meeting you, Pete, once, and you never showered me with love. I mean,
Well,
dude, seriously, come on.
well it was the beard.
Yeah, Pete will say that, actually. I got called a Viking, some scary Viking the other week. I was like, me, scary Viking? No. Okay, sorry.
Change your name to Ragnar.
Yeah, go around beating people with clubs. Yeah. So Jesse.
Yeah, well, I've just been, I start recording a 22 song cover record on March 1st. So this is a good thing to ask me right now. But there's a few songs on the album that I'm recording. I mean, for me, like Jimmy Webb, well, just take your pick. But like The Moon's a Harsh Mistress. I mean, anything. The Highwaymen, like anything.
Highwaymen, yeah.
I mean, look, those lyrics are just, and melodies. I mean, you have to have melody as well. I mean, even Dylan had really great melodies.
Dylan's my god. Definitely my god.
Going through so much of that, but yeah, and I mean, Thunder Road is always one that sticks out at me. Is like what images, what melody, what range of emotions, and like I mean, there's very mellow parts, and I'm pulling out of here to win, and like the sax comes in. I mean, they're just what a perfect song that is. Yeah, that's more than one. I'm sorry.
cheated.
All right,
Petey
there was
cheated.
no restriction.
I like Pete still too, because sometimes I mean, a lot of times I learned in Nashville too. What do you want to say? You can, and then you can. Some songs, have a very eloquent Jimmy Webb way of saying it. Like by the time I get to Phoenix, and then other songs are just like shower the people, and they're perfect. So there's no like perfect rule, but I think it's important to know either way what do you want to say? Like stop dancing around it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
find when I sing that song though, I feel it.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
yeah,
singing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
I'm the same. The only songs I sort of sing is the songs that I feel, because
Yeah.
I can't
You
connect
can
with songs that,
absolutely
yeah.
tell it, can't you? Because
Yeah.
you can not only see it in the body language of the person singing it, but you can hear it through
yeah.
the subtle changes and the softness of the voice and things like that.
It's like a painting, isn't it? You
That's it.
put everything into that one song. You do. You do.
And you stand back and you admire it,
Yeah,
And again,
everybody else
likewise,
walks out.
Some people, some people will look at the painting and go, "Oh, do you know what? I love that." And other people go, "Yeah." And that's the whole thing with music, isn't it? You listen to a song, you listen to lyrics, and someone will go, "Geez, they just get me." Someone else will go, "Yeah, it's not all that." And you kind of get, it's so personal. It is so personal. We do have a question from our audience.
Ooh.
Where was it?
George Jones.
No. Oh,
Just how does he
we've
do
got
it?
one from George Jones, but there was another one before that from Rob Payne. So Rob Payne says, which one of your songs would you choose to introduce what you do to people? Good question.
It's a good one.
Mine is a song called "Barefoot on the Shore" that I'm not doing tonight. Well, I'm not doing tonight. Yeah, that started me off really. Yeah, that says a lot about me. I think "Barefoot on the Shore."
Okay,
Love-
so it's a
love
song
song.
that says stuff about you, kind of.
Well,
like
not
your
really.
story
It's a
kind
song.
of
It's a song about two people who went on a day trip to the seaside, the beach, and then they fell for each other, and they wrote to each other over the next 12 months, and the following year they decided to meet up again on the same trip, and he asked her to marry him. That's what the song's about. I just love the song.
Okay, and Jesse?
Yeah, those last two are pretty good for me. Like Stargazer and When We Wander, like those. Well, just one, but I'm doing it again. But yeah, I mean that those say a lot about me, I think.
We've got another quick question. If you could sing only one song for the rest of your life, what song would that be?
That's another good question.
I know. I looked at that and thought.
I mean,
That's hard.
I think "Cowboy for a Day" for me.
Yeah,
it would have to be.
I
It would have to be.
guess Stargazer. I guess.
Do you know what? I was sitting here thinking, if I could predict, would I predict right? And I was going to say Stargazer, and I was going to say Cowboy for a Day. How cool is that? I wasn't even
He wrote the script.
But if Pete plays the other one tonight, then I don't know, because for me, them two, Pete, are very, very. I don't know. I can't think what the other one's called.
That's
You
a
got
hard
the
thing
Cowboy for a
to
Day.
ask,
You've got
isn't it?
Build Me a Boat.
Build Me a Boat. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear that. I love that title. I mean, I'm like, man, I wish I had that. I wish I wrote that title.
I wasn't going to play that. I'll play it just for you.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, Maria, that's a terrible question.
I think
Why
that
would
was
you ask
a
a musician if they
question.
could only sing one song? That's like messing me up.
Yeah.
Got to have lots. I've got
That
to have
is-
lots.
That
Well,
is-
I think, Andy, very quickly, I think because of time, we should get them playing again very quickly. Then we'll ask them the last little bits and bobs of where people can meet them. Because I want to hear more, really.
Old Timer's got a good question.
Get
as
on
well.
it.
Are there no
Get
songs from lady singers? Good question. Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot, and this is a song I might do on my covers album if I can do it justice in a different way. But "A Case of You" by Joni Mitchell. I mean, for me, it doesn't get much better than that song. And lyric, I mean, really, and also just Joni in general. I mean, she's like from another.
Joni Mitchell is just.
As far as melody and creativity and I mean, I listen to so many females. I mean, Ronstadt doesn't I don't think wrote a lot, but Bonnie Raitt, and there's so many great female
For me, it's
singers.
got to be Nancy Griffiths. I absolutely adore her. I think she's
Nancy
phenomenal.
Griffith's so good. Yeah, I might do Gulf Coast Highway as well. There's another song I'm just like
Actually, I have to say, Brandy Carlisle.
Oh, Brandy Carlisle, yeah.
Brandy Carlisle is a
Absolutely.
fantastic lyricist. Yeah. Right, let's
Let's
get into some more songs
Yeah.
then, otherwise we'll run out of time.
Yeah.
So 2 more songs, and then our last bit will just be simply where can people connect up with you,
Yeah.
things like that. Folks, I'm also going to be posting, so these guys have given up their time, so I'm going to post a tip jar link for both of them, and if you want to donate a couple of bucks or a couple of pounds to them, then it's your choice. There's no pressure to do it, but we always kind of say, if you can, that would
Just
be
think you'd have been
more
out
than
there buying a couple of
appreciated.
pints if you'd go and see him live. Do you know what I mean? Just bunging a couple of pints worth, and it's all good, isn't it?
Keep them in tins of beans.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, I love my
Right.
beans.
So who's going first this time?
Hello.
Oh, Lou's going
I think
first.
it's
Jesse.
Jesse, isn't it?
Do you want-
Who went first last round?
Okay.
I went first last time.
Yeah, so it's Jesse
You
first this time.
want to take one, Lily? Daddy's tired.
Jesse first, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Well, probably about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get this mic setting off. Echo can. All right, here I'm back to normal. It's good to see all. What a really fun show. I love it when you sign up for these shows and not know exactly how they're going to go, and they just become really inspiring and wonderful days, or nights if you're in the UK. This song was written after an argument with my wife, and she, I pulled a real rock and roll move and said that I would go take the minivan. We had an argument. I said, "That's it. I'm out of here. I'm gonna make coffee. I'm gonna go take the minivan out and just blast Springsteen all night somewhere, and go down to the docks." And I did drive around for a little while, and I came back and I had this great idea, and I said, "Listen, I decided I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna sleep in the van tonight. I'm gonna write songs." I was expecting her to say, "Oh, please, baby, no, stay." And she just said, "Okay, if you want to go out and sleep in the van in the parking lot, go at it, And so I stayed home. But I said, if we could keep this argument going until the morning, I really want this emotion to be fresh, so I can write this song tomorrow while the mother's helper is here." And she said, "Okay, whatever." And I said, "I'll make it up to you." So I wrote her this song, and I realized in the song that she was right in the argument. So it kind of changed the vibe of the song. It's called Innocent Ones. I'm out here tonight in the parking lot. I bought some whiskey, but I forgot had I hurt this bad. Had I hurt this bad. Harsh headlights from the street racing cars, young kids stumbling home from the local bars. I just close my eyes. I close my eyes. It's time to trust somebody. It's time to give it all up. It's time to trust somebody before I lose my innocent ones. Before I lose my innocent ones. Gunpowder's rushing in on the July breeze. I'm feeling seasick on the vinyl seats. I bet you're upstairs against the bedroom glass, wondering when I'll be coming back. Our baby girl is sleeping peaceful inside. I can't let her live a life like mine. I got a promise to keep. It's all that matters to me. It's time to trust somebody. It's time to give it all up. It's time to trust somebody before I lose my innocent ones. Before I lose my innocent ones. Oh.
by now. After all these trials, you never once let me down. Never once let me down. Let me down. It's time to trust somebody. It's time to give it all up. It's time to trust somebody before I lose my innocent ones. Before I lose my innocent ones. Before I lose my innocent ones. I'm out here tonight in the parking lot. Thank you very much. I'll play one more song.
I didn't mean to do that. I've clicked the wrong button and I came back in.
Good to see you, buddy. Oh, thanks again for y'all showing up. It's so great to see so many friends and also so many new people and so many lovely comments. I'll end with this song. It's one of my favorite songs that I've written, and I wrote it a long time ago after some real heartbreak. When I was still in Nashville, co-writing songs and writing songs for a living, down there on Music Row, and trying to get songs on big hit albums and get $1 million yachts from those songs. That never happened, but I had this most amazing time in Nashville, and also I found out that I really wanted to tour for a living and make my own records. So it was a wonderful experience. And I wrote this song after a really bad breakup, and so it was really about loss. And then I sang it for my grandmother when she passed and at her funeral, and then I released it, and all these people started asking me to play at their weddings, and I said, "Are you sure it's the same song?" And they said, "Yeah, for us that song is about true love and is about the person you can't bear to be apart from in the world." So I love how people can, different songs can have different meanings to different people. I think that's really beautiful. A great song can have so many meanings. So this song is called Noise. Thank you so much for spending your day or evening with us. And thanks so much for having me, guys. I can't hear the songbirds singing or the church bells ringing, 'cause without your sweet voice, well, all the world is noise. And as I watch the children play, can't hear what they're saying, 'cause without your sweet voice, well, all the world is noise. And if I ever hear your voice again, maybe on some clear and holy morning, I will close my eyes and take it in. But until then, well, I will watch the lovers dancing, but I won't hear them laughing, 'cause without your sweet voice, well, all the world is noise. If I ever hear your voice again, maybe on some clear and holy morning, I will close my eyes and take it in. But until then, well, Well, I won't hear the rain started strumming. The streets could all be flooded, but without your sweet voice, all the world is noise. All the world is noise.
Exactly how I feel at times. All the world is noise. Brilliant song. Brilliant written as well. Right, we shall swap Jesse out for Pete. And then we'll finish with the final kind of chat about how you can connect up with them. And then we will leave them to the rest of the evening or day. So this is the last couple of songs from Pete.
And you can all go to bed.
Floor's yours.
That was a lovely. That last one was beautiful, Jess. Right. Where am I? Oh yes. I've switched songs a little bit. I'm going to do one that I do a lot, and I'm going to do one that I never do. Not because it's personal. It's just it's a really strange. Because I wrote 3 songs. It made a story. It was going to be made into a TV drama at one point, but the guy who was going to put it all together, he got sidetracked, and the scriptwriter came in. He wrote a Disney cartoon instead, and my little project got sidetracked. But never mind. You know, it's who knows? Things could have been so different. Anyway, this first song, I mentioned the story about the older couple who met up on a day trip to the sea. And there is a song before that as well in the trilogy, but this is the last one that I never sing really, but it's a goodbye song really. And a lot of people have lost a lot of friends or family in this COVID thing, and so I hope it sort of means something to someone, this one. So it's called Flower in the Forest. Springtime, new life growing, but not for you. Each day takes forever without you. Never was a stranger love affair that we had, now it's done. Goodbye to the flower in the forest, to the green and the blue of the sea. Farewell to the loving and the sweet turtle doving we shared as we sat by the sea. It's the end of the play, my dear. Having fun was what we wanted when we first met. So young and yet so old, our lives were all set. But that all changed one moment by the sea, you and me. Goodbye to the flower in the forest, to the green and the blue of the sea. Farewell to the loving and the sweet turtle doving we shared as we sat by the sea. It's the end of the play, my dear. Now you're gone, alone again, but there are memories. Wait for me, I'll soon be with you in eternity. Well, I remember when we made plans for a day like today. Goodbye to the flower in the forest, to the green and the blue of the sea. Farewell to the loving and the sweet turtle doving we shared as we sat by the sea. It's the end of the play, my dear. It's the end of the play, my Flower in the Forest. Gosh, I haven't sung that for so long. Right, I'm going to, this one, Sam won't forgive me if I don't sing this one, so quick little retune. Right, that's close enough. This is, I wrote this song, oh gosh, just after the 2012 Olympic Games. And it's about a boy who was watching TV, watching all the sailing. And he said to his dad, you know, if you build me a boat, Dad, I'll bring you gold. So that's where the song has come from. Gosh, it's 2012. That's really flown by. Gosh, 2012. Anyway. Never touch your G string, they say. I think I touched mine. Okay, this is Build Me a Boat. Thanks ever so much again for listening, and catch up with some of you somewhere soon. I couldn't see any messages. I don't know if any messages came in, but if they did, I couldn't see them, so I couldn't reply to anything. So apologies if I've ignored anybody. So hope you like this. This is Build Me a Boat, and take care, everybody. London town, I wasn't there. I was just a boy without a care. Then I saw the sea and the men who sailed, the tears of joy and the ones who failed. Build me a boat, teach me to sail, to read the wind and I will not fail. Then to the sea, through rain and cold, build me a boat, I'll bring you gold. And deep inside, something stirred. The deeds I saw and the words I heard inspire the young, march through the door. Be bold and strong, and those crowds will roar. Build me a boat, teach me to sail, to read the wind, and I will not fail. Then to the sea, through rain and cold, build me a boat, I'll bring you gold. Though still a child, I've found the way. I'll be on that sea, I'll be there someday. When I'm in that boat on the TV screen, I'll remember now my Olympic dream. Build me a boat, teach me to sail, to read the wind and I will not fail. Then to the sea, through rain and cold, build me a boat, I'll bring you gold. Build me a boat, teach me to sail, to read the wind and I will not fail. Then to the sea, through rain and cold, build me a boat, I'll bring you gold. Build me a boat, I'll bring you gold. Build me a boat.
Oh. You know what? It just makes me want to go and smash my guitar up and give up songwriting.
Can I just say very quickly, guys? So, Jess, your second song sounded like it should be in some sort of Disney film, right? And then Pete's first song sounded like it should be in some sort of Disney film. Sell it to Disney.
I think we'd be fine with that. Pete, you all right?
Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with
I
that.
can't imagine they complain.
And I was thinking, it sounds like Disney.
So,
Did Disney sounded like that?
I know. Yeah.
again, we are, as is ever the way, we kind of run ever so slightly over. So apologies for that. But I just want to say again, thank you so much, guys, for giving us your time and agreeing to kind of come and play. What was that?
That's what happens when you run over. My daughter's not happy.
Okay, we'll be very quick.
That's our audience as well. That's what they're doing at home right now. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Ah!
So the only other thing we really kind of just want to make sure is that people can connect with music and they can buy a CD if they want to. So very quickly, Jesse, how can people get hold of your CDs or connect up with you if they want to? We will post this in the chat afterwards, by the way.
Oh, great. Yeah. So just my website has we have a link to my merch store, which has like signed CDs and vinyl records and stuff like that. And jesseterrymusic.com. And we're actually like selling some handmade stuff, like handmade recycled guitar string jewelry, which is pretty rad. And just we're doing all kinds of things right now with the pandemic to make money. You know, we're selling jewelry. We're selling insurance on the side. You can. I'm just kidding.
I'll sell my body. You can have it. You can have it.
I sell Pete's body. You know.
I sell Pete's body.
You could do dolls of me or something.
We can sell dolls of Pete bobbleheads and all kinds of. No, but it's great when people buy the music or I love it when people follow me on Spotify and see that world. It's all good, you know. So I'm pretty easy to find out there, and we do weekly shows as well. Right now, at least once a week we do a weekly show. Usually it's Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, so 8 p.m. in the UK, and everybody's always welcome. And I always, we do some Zoom, some Facebook Live, but there are lots
I always say the easiest way is just sign up to their music page. Because that way, when they do stuff and they put events out, they'll usually do an event poster for it, so you'll get to hear about it. But it connects you with them. So do that. If nothing else, kind of get connected up to their music page. But Jesse's got a batch load of CDs he needs to get rid of because he needs the space
Yes.
at home. So buy them. He's got 11 of them. So yeah, he's got plenty of music for you to listen to and stuff like that. So again, you know, when you think about Spotify, what I would also say is if you want to download stuff on Spotify, that's absolutely fine. But if you invest in the artist via buying a CD, they get the money.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Spotify, you get nothing. So I
Or
would
if
say,
you come to a
even though
show,
you're going to download it,
you
say
can,
again?
yeah. If you come to a show and you know, let's say someone tips $10 or something, it's like a virtual. Think of it as a virtual concert ticket, you know, and then they can listen on Spotify with no guilt, you know.
And I
Yeah.
always say buy 6 CDs because then you got a full
Absolutely.
toaster set.
Yeah, full set.
Yeah, that took me by surprise. You know, in America, when I was in America, the tip jar. I'd never seen a tip jar before.
Yeah,
And-
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Oh gosh, what was that? I was in Sedona, playing at an Irish bar in Sedona, and the guy sat down. He got a jar in front of him full of money. I'd never seen this because I'd sort of negotiated a fee with the chap who ran the place, but I'd never seen a tip jar. I hadn't got a jar, so I went and bought a hat instead. So I had a tip hat. It was great.
That was our old English
I think we
way,
should
wasn't it?
do that in
Pass the
England.
hat round.
I
Brilliant.
think we should definitely do that.
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Well, I think, you know, so Sam and I were talking about this. If we do our show that we get up and running, I think we will introduce the tip jar as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think, you know, however much you can get away with paying on the door, rightfully so, if the artist does really well, they should deserve to get a tip jar that's got a bit more in it and things. So I think it's a great concept. I have to say, when I was in Nashville, I loved it. It was a great concept. Every time I bought a beer, just a little bit goes in the tip jar as well.
Oh,
Right,
I had
And then I was
25.
so drunk, I think there was more going in the tip jar than there was on the beer.
I had 20 glasses of moonshine around the bar when I was in Tombstone. They didn't give me they put a drink for me, so it was an upturned glass, and it was all moon, and they were just all around the front of the bar, and I couldn't walk. And I saw so many comets that night in the sky. It was amazing.
Yeah. I got arrested 6 times in half an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Pete, where can people find you?
Pete,
Oh gosh, I've got
CDs?
nothing like that. Yeah, CDs. I got a couple of CDs. There's one on Amazon, which is which one is it? Room of Dreams. That's on Amazon, or you can get it through me. I'm doing a website at the moment, struggling because I'm playing catch up with all this singer songwriter stuff. So yeah, just find me on Facebook. That's at the moment anyway. That's probably the easiest way, and just send me a message. And you know, I'll happily send you a CD.
Because again, you
Somebody's
can
put-
transfer
You get a photograph of me. Photograph of me on that one. Look,
that.
sitting somewhere in Arizona.
Wanted in 48 states.
I love
that
the songs,
one-
but
that one's
how
just
do you,
me.
How do you smuggle CDs into the UK?
I smuggle them into America.
I do that all the time.
I did. I smuggled them. I said they were gifts.
So again, what I'd say is if you want a CD, again, it's easy to transfer money via PayPal and things like that. And then at least, you know, Pete can then post it out to you. So again, do us a favour, like and subscribe to the Songbird Sessions page, because it's our audience that also makes the shows as well, not just the artist. It's the
And if you
engagement
know of
we get and
anybody
things like
that you think might be interested, or we might be interested in, get them to send us a message. We'll have a look.
Absolutely.
That's the best way.
And then we will post links and stuff in the chat afterwards as well, so that you can kind of watch it back and connect up with people. But thank you very much to our artists. We have
you.
kept you longer than we promised, so if you need to head off, we totally understand that. Sam's going to finish our night with a kind of song to kind of close us off. And then we'll post about next month's event. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, we've got a guy from the US again called Trey Ackerman, who I've heard of and is absolutely fantastic as well. And I can't remember who our UK kind of person in.
Well, I'm
fact,
trying to
we're
get the
still-
fabulous Pete bodies. We have been in talks with each other, but we'll see if we can sort
So
that out.
we'll let you know. We'll let you know. But again, so thank you guys. If you need to drop out, feel free to kind of drop out. I know.
Yeah,
we've
you've
kept
heard me
you
sing loads of times,
waiting
Pete.
Oh,
already.
no,
I'm not
here.
budging.
I'll drop off right after Sam.
So Sam's going to finish the night with a song.
Jess, I'll just say good night to you, mate. Jess, and
Night.
you take care. It's lovely to see you and hear you.
brother. Keep
Really.
in touch, man.
So we'll stay
Yeah.
in the session this time, but if we put
I'll say hello on
ourselves
Facebook
mute,
as well.
Yes, please.
that way there's no sound interference. So if we pop,
Oh, yes.
That's gone.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm. Oh, hang on. So I'm having to use my old system because my new one is playing up. So yeah, I'm going to sing this song. It's about an old bench that I used to go to when I was very young, and I kind of used to sit there and contemplate the world. And funny enough, my young lady at the time, we've now also had a bench that she used to go to and contemplate the world. And now we're having a little baby. We've now found a new bench that we will now go to and contemplate the world. So this is called That Old Bench, and I hope you enjoy it. Winter mornings with a frosty dew, sun's coming up, start of something new. Well, I found a place to rest my eyes, but like the flow of the river, it took away all my ties. And that knowing stare you once gave to me now echoes on the wind blowing through the trees. 'Cause that old bench felt like home, like a lost loved one, it'd come and gone. But now I walk these streets alone, 'cause that old bench felt like home. Well, stars above are dark and grey, got a troubled mind, got things to say. That knowing stare. No, I can't got my own words. And out of time, we both know, as one story ends, the other path must go. But as I wait, still I see that old bench is here in my heart with me. 'Cause that old bench felt like home, like a lost loved one, it'd come and gone. But now I walk these streets alone, 'cause that old bench felt like home. But as I see rusty footprints where that old bench used to be, 'cause that old bench felt like home, like a lost loved one, it'd come and gone. But now I walk these streets alone, 'cause that old bench felt like home. That old bench felt like home, 'cause that old bench felt like home.
not a bad little songwriter either, are we, Mr. Schemmel?
Yeah. It's been like, you know what, I need to start. I've not played for ages again. It's just I keep having weeks where I'm just not playing. It's, since Christmas, I haven't really done. I've done two things. I think one with Pete the other week on our old folk club that we used to go to I used to go very regularly. And then this tonight feels really weird.
Yeah, a few more of those songs. A few more of those songs, Sam.
Well, thank you.
Sam is on the verge of recording a CD. He now has enough songs, and he's literally. I keep pushing him every day. Every day he rings me. I said, "Have you recorded anything yet?" And he goes, "No, I've been busy." Yeah, of course you have. Come on, Mr. Schemmel. By the end of next week, I expect all 6 tracks, bass tracks, to be recorded. That's a challenge. I'm throwing down the gauntlet.
Okay. I'll wait for Jenny to get back, and then I'll.
I've done mine. I've done mine. You've got to do yours.
So don't imitate her.
Yeah.
Is that a white falcon, Jess?
Yes, yeah.
Lovely, isn't it?
Oh, I love it so much. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's a few pennies in a tip jar, I tell you.
Story to this one, but yeah, this is a special guitar.
Pete's got one. Pete Body's got one.
Yeah, Pete Bodies.
Pete Bodice has got loads of blooming guitars.
I had a fan get me this guitar, believe it or not.
A fan?
Yeah.
Can I have your fan?
Wow.
Incredibly grateful for this
I'm not surprised.
guitar. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's a dream guitar, though, for sure.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I love Gretsch. Gretsch have fantastic guitars.
So
Mr.
great,
Chair
yeah.
Atkins
Just
is
difficult to spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, why do they do that in a name? Yeah. Listen, gents, I'm going to say good night because I know we've kept you here for long enough. Thank you again to our audience. Please stay safe. Hopefully it won't be long now before we'll be able to get out face-to-face and some gigs.
I hope so.
And at some point it'll be fantastic to see Jesse over here if we get that chance. And hopefully we'll be able to connect up with Pete and Jesse and maybe do something a little special. Who knows? Who knows?
Definitely.
We shall try it. But thank you and good night. So everybody say good night to our audience.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
Everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Stay safe. And we
Take care.
see you all soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
So we are going off air. Bye-bye.